You're good to go.
Good. Thank you. I want to comment on a statement that was made by the Minister for Internal Security, for Interior yesterday. Two comments. One is a reaction on the proposal by the government to erect a wall between Billow and Mandera town to prevent terrorists from crossing over and to enhance security. I think my view on that one, on the proposal to build a wall, I think is generally, cautiously, I would say, I would welcome it for two reasons. One, it would give the government an opportunity. It will give the government an opportunity to be able to conduct operations, to flush out foreigners, to flush out suspects, to flush out criminals, without giving them an opportunity to run across when such an operation is being conducted inside the town. The second, I think, advantage I see is that quite often we've seen when people do something here, like an IED explosion, or so they shoot people, or do some of these things, they run across, they drive across into Billow immediately, so it becomes very difficult to track them down. So I think it also will help in that. So I find it advantageous on those two accounts. Obviously, it is not the complete solution to the problem of terrorism in Mandera County, for the reasons that some of the people who sympathize with the terrorists live within this town. And there are many other entry points, really. Even if you go on this side, people can enter Mandera through several other roads. But I think it will help also in terms of controlling the movement of goods across the borders, and help the government in terms of the duty collections and so forth. But it would be wrong to suggest. It would be wrong to suggest that that construction of such a wall would in itself be a solution to the problem of terrorism in Mandera County. So I think the government has to move cautiously and to ensure that all other actions that have been suggested to the government in terms of enhancing security in this county, particularly in this town and on the highways of this town, in this county, be taken. There are a number of things that need to be done. The most important being to provide adequate KDF forces on the borders with Somalia. I think without that there will be no solution. The question of deploying 100, 200 soldiers in an area 200 kilometers long is a joke. They need to put up camps in every 20, 30 kilometers on this border to, monitor movements. They need to enhance the presence of security, particularly intelligence officers and CID in this town, so that they can monitor. How do you have a situation where there is not a single conclusive investigation of any of the incidents that have been happening here in the last 3, 4, 5 years of terrorism? So I think it is very important that we look at other measures. The thing I want to talk about, the second thing I want to talk about is the minister's statement yesterday, that the incident which happened last Friday on the Lafe Road was an action of banditry. That is a very unfortunate statement, and the minister keeps repeating. This is the second time he has repeated that is mere banditry. And I think the thing that surprises us is that if it is banditry, how did the government arrive at that conclusion? Did they carry out an investigation conclusively and arrest suspects and convicted them, charge them in court to prove that this was, yes, indeed, some bandits? And what is banditry? Banditry is a situation where people roam the highways in order to plunder, in order to rob resources. Well, those guys were not robbers. The people who came on the road and hit a convoy, killed, throwing through vehicles, killing people, and you say that using rocket-propelled grenades, and you say that is banditry. I think that is not acceptable. I think the minister is deliberately downplaying this matter, and we take great exception to it as leaders from this county. We take great exception to a situation where the government is trying to trivialize a serious situation, a situation where the governor of this town has been threatened at least 5 times in the last few months, and they know, and then they say this is not terrorism. People in this town are unable to go out after 6 p.m. for fear of terror. Government offices are guarded like no other place in this country. Vehicles have to go in convoy. You cannot move freely even in this town, forget about the highways, because of the risk of the terrorism. Everyone knows, and the government knows more than anyone else, that literally in every incident that happens in Nairobi or any of those places, the entry point and the exit points for terrorists have been Mandera town. So I think it would be a shame for a minister who has just been appointed to pretend that he does not know what is going on, or to try and trivialize this issue. And I think it's something that really causes a lot of indignation, and that causes a lot of displeasure with the residents of this county. The people in this county are so frustrated. A couple of days ago they held demonstrations. Tomorrow they plan to hold demonstrations again to express their total disappointment with the level of insecurity, with the level of the threat of terrorism in this town. It's a situation where today our schools are closed because the teachers could not come back and teach. Our hospitals, many of our health centers are still shut down. Our businesses, the economy of this town has collapsed because of insecurity. Yet the government finds there's nothing wrong, that this is banditry. How do you, as a government, justify your silence when a whole county in this country is on its knees economically, in terms of education, in everything? So when the people in this town then express their demonstrations, express their frustrations through demonstrations, it's genuine that there's neglect by the government in terms of addressing insecurity for a long time. And it's time the government moved to address the security in this town, and particularly the threat of terrorism. And they cannot do it by trying to pretend, that what is happening is being, is being politicized or whatever. Politicians are there to represent the interests of their people. We are elected to highlight the problems facing our people, and we will do so without any intimidation by anyone. So I think the minister needs to stop burying his head in the sand and saying that there's no problem in this county. There are serious problems, and the people here have a right to express their problems as provided for in the Constitution through protests and through rallies, and they're going to do so. We have nothing to lose if we have not already lost. What is there to lose in this county? Your schools are closed, your children cannot learn, and the government does not find it fit to speak about it. Who has spoken about it in this country? Higher level, or the challenges facing this country. So I think this is something, and you cannot say in a situation where that is the situation we are in. Because of insecurity, our schools are closed, our hospitals are shut down in some of the areas. Our economy is flat because people cannot go about their activities in the evening. The town is shut down. With all that insecurity, you cannot say, I'm happy